So, you probably noticed the abrupt cut at the end of the last part. That's because what I attempted to do was actually do it in Remix, and I just can't. I just gave up. Unfortunately, the way Remix is going right now, the other players just simply will not allow me to properly show off these dungeons or even the raids as I would like to, for a couple of reasons. One, the way Remix works basically allows them to just ignore the roles that we usually play in this game, so they can just go in and do whatever they want without doing the usual thing. What I mean by that is, normally you follow the tank. The tank is the leader in the dungeon. Where the tank goes, you follow, and that's basically the end of it. In Remix, you don't have to do that. And that became very clear to me when I was attempting to try and go through all of the bosses in this dungeon and show it off, and the rest of the group just ignored me and just went ahead and did the rest of the dungeon without their tank, because they could do that. So, yeah. Also, some of them were able to just simply one-shot everything in there. So I just kind of threw my arms up and gave up at doing it in Remix. However, I can show these off basically in regular retail, and then we can just switch back to Remix to continue the questing. So, I think that's what I'm basically going to do. If I want to show off these dungeons as part of the story with the quests, then I'll just swap over, show it off here in regular retail, even though I was planning on doing this in my Soloing Dungeon series, which I may still end up doing, but I may as well go ahead and do it here since it's literally part of the upcoming story. So, before we actually, head on to the next zone, because even though Yulon's like, well, it's time for you to move on, the thing is, though, we actually need to help finish off dealing with doubt here. Especially since, well, what's going on here is also affecting Yulon as well, as you'll see here in just a moment. So I swapped to one of my alts here, and I could have hopped on my main, but I'm looking to not one-shot everything in here. So we'll see how, whether or not that happens. So anyways, welcome back to the Temple of the Jade Serpent. I showed this place off to you guys earlier and showed you how beautiful it was and what it was like in here. Well, now you're about to see what this place is like now that it's been corrupted by the Shaw of Doubt.
Tell me of your travels.
Warrior, will you aid us? The temple's purity has been jeopardized. Even now the three masters struggle against their doubts. Please, I beg you, head in and help Wise Mari, Liu Flameheart, and Lore Walker Stonestep in their fight against the Shah. You remember each of them, right? We were meeting each of them, helping them out. So we will be seeing what they're now having to deal with.
Farewell.
Slow down.
There is an ancient Pandaren saying that states, with deep doubts comes deep wisdom. The Shaw of Doubt has infested the heart of Jade within the temple. It must be destroyed. I dare say that you are about to become all the wiser, warrior.
Enough of that.
So I can one-shot the trash in here, but, I don't know.
Too far away.
I'll try not to one-shot the bosses,
I need to
but,
target something first.
Also, there is one achievement I haven't gotten in here. Huh. Engage the boss, then wait 25 seconds for the boss to perform Bounds of Reality. When in the Bounds of Reality phase, you will see a Seed of Doubt in each corner of the room, which you can click on to collect. Once you have collected all 4 Seeds of Doubt, you can kill the boss to get this achievement. Okay, maybe we'll actually try and do that. But, yeah, I was showing off earlier, how beautiful this place was with the windows and everything, and we saw, the little water sprites and the water elementals, and now this is what happens when the corruption of the Shah basically turns this place, well, yeah, you can see.
I am out of range.
This is unfortunately what has happened to this place, courtesy of the Shaw of Doubt and its corruption.
I do not have a target.
And this is going to be a recurring theme that we are going to be seeing as we continue. By the way, if you stand in here, it can hurt quite a bit. So, this is Wise Mari. You guys remember him, right? We encountered him. We helped him get his staff back from those mischievous water sprites. And that was an example that I was pointing out about. Those are the small little problems that they deal with here in Pandaria. Compared to, well, now what are real problems? The revered Jinyu water speaker, Wise Mari, has found knowledge and foresight countless times in the fountain of the ever-seeing. But when the Shaw of Doubt corrupted the familiar currents, Mari was overwhelmed with limitless distrust and suspicion. So,
you dare to disturb these waters? You will living water bring.
So yeah. He summons corrupted water elementals, which just sounds horrible. If you stand in this water, it hurts.
Painted ripple. All water.
And he's got this barrier, but you can still try and damage him a bit, but you're mainly supposed to focus on taking down the ads before you focus on taking him down. And he'll keep doing this. He'll also do this attack where he spins around and shoots water at you. Corrupted water, so of course it hurts.
All water.
Yeah, it's a mini showcase, basically, of the power of what can happen when corrupted water... Well, yeah.
Peer into these waters, and my reflection is empty waters. Claim me.
Make sure the audio is up, yep. I'm sorry, Wise Mari. I'm really sorry. And this is an example of sometimes, unfortunately, there is no saving them once they have been fully corrupted by the Shaw. The only option at that point that we have is to just mercifully kill them to prevent them from being continuously corrupted by the Shaw. It's basically a mercy killing, is what's happening here. So look at all the Shaw that are trying to wreck the library. Stonestep is down there and he's trying to do what he can, but look at how much the Shaw is wrecking his library.
I must get closer.
You there, in the rafters! My sacred library has become possessed by the Shah!
Like earlier we were helping him deal with moths and bedbugs. Now...
See how they
I require a
pour
target.
every letter of these sacred scrolls, corrupting them, defiling them.
Now his problem is much more real, much more serious.
I do not have a target.
You can see the stage for the constant elevation.
Cleanse this place of their foul presence. Lay our stories to rest.
Now this is a very interesting idea here, because we're about to see that the Shaw can actually cause
You must destroy the source of the corruption. Quickly, before our cherished history is erased forever.
the Shaw corruption can actually cause like a metaphysical reenactment or bringing to life of some of these stories here. Like this one right here, you see. The Shaw of Doubt's minions gleefully invaded the Temple of the Jade Serpent's library, creating twisted, destructive versions of heroes and other characters of Pandaran lore. Despite his best efforts, Lorewalker Stonestep has been unable to restore these manifestations of the past to their uncorrupted forms. So we've got this corrupted scroll, and it's just like, as I said, you can see some of the stories from these scrolls are literally being like created here, courtesy of the corruption.
If I am not mistaken, it appears that the tale of Zhao Sunseeker has come to life before us. According to the legend, long ago there were 5 suns that burned brightly in the sky. When the winds blew, their intense heat caused great wildfires. Crops wilted, villages burned, and families wandered endlessly to seek refuge from the flames.
I can allow this no longer!
The fires! They are burning the library! Please, heroes, purge this evil before the temple crumbles to ash!
Yep.
The blistering heat must have dulled my senses! Mirages! All of you!
Zhao has become corrupted too? Please, fight him with dignity.
Sorry, Zhao.
Zhao was a true champion of our people. How sad it is to see his story tainted by the Shah. I am relieved to see justice served to his memory. You have my thanks, heroes. You have given peace to this sacred temple. Now, off with you. I require meditation before I begin the restoration ritual.
Of course.
I need to target something first.
Just as a reminder, in case you didn't quite put it together, Shah energy is, of course, void energy because, of course, the Shah came from Yasharaj, an old god. Just to make sure that's clear. Whoops.
I need to target something first. I cannot attack that target.
This is one of the reasons why I don't usually play ARMS.
Too far away.
If I was in here on Fury, I'd basically be using Whirlwind the entire time. But the fact that you have to, you know, use Fury for Whirlwind, it's just gonna,
Your forces are weak.
So, you remember when I showed her off? Although right now she has this mask to represent that she is currently being corrupted. This is Liu Flameheart. You probably saw her when we were in the temple earlier, and she was like, you know, basically being kind of the drill sergeant, you know, toward the monks, like, do that better, you know. Since she was a cub, the priestess Liu Flameheart has studied the cycle of rebirth for the Jade Serpent, Yulan. When the Shah of Doubt attacked, Liu was the first to resist, but she was also the first to succumb to corruption. Now she is consumed with uncertainty, fearing that she may not have the strength to ensure Yulan's rebirth. So, she's not a crazy tough fight. Like, she's got things like Serpent Kick and Serpent Strike and such. It's not really that tough fight, in my opinion. When she reaches 30% health, though, she'll actually enter a trance, make herself invulnerable, and she'll actually summon Yulan to defend her, who kind of doesn't have much of a choice. So, yeah.
Haze has been lifted from my eyes.
So, unfortunately, my ult here is a little too strong, so I can't quite show it off to you guys. Sorry.
I must get closer.
And now, last time you saw him, he was much bigger, wasn't he? Well, we made him shrink, and he ran here. The physical manifestation of suspicion was trapped in the Jade Forest after Emperor Shao Hao defeated the entity 10,000 years ago. The Shah of Doubt then grew obsessed with the Jade Serpent Yulan, the spirit of wisdom and foresight, and now delights in the thought of corrupting her home. So I think this is for... Is this achievement for Shaw of Doubt, or is it for one of the other ones? I don't think it was for those, so... Alright, we'll find out. We'll go ahead and hold off and wait, and we'll see.
Die or surrender. You cannot defeat me.
So yeah, that's his voice. I think each of the Prime Shaws have some cool voices. Okay, so Bounds of Reality, it is for this. So let's try and get the achievement while we're here.
Succumb to the darkness
Bounds of Reality.
inside your soul.
Alright, there's one. So this is a cool mechanic. He creates a figment of doubt that will attack you. You're having to eliminate all doubt within yourself. It's a really cool idea. I love these mechanics that are manifestations of a certain type of like negative emotion within yourself. Alright.
Bounds of Reality.
Once you have collected, you can kill the boss.
Cannot escape me.
There we go.
I am in every breath.
Thing is, though, once we take them down, we basically take down what is left of their corruption. Now, we will ultimately prevent them from coming back later on in the expansion, but yeah, defeating him here is basically helping free up the Jade Forest from his corruption for good.
Greetings.
While I am sad to hear the fates of Wise Mari and Priestess Flameheart, you have my heartfelt thanks.
Travel safe.
I never doubted you. Funny though, you don't look any wiser. Wink.
Until next
Get it? I never doubted you. Anyways. Alright, so now let's pretend that before Yulon was like, hey, it's time for you to move on. Let's pretend we actually went to the temple here, took down Doubt, and then we get offered by Yulon to be like, hey, now it's time for you to move on. Let me give you a ride to the next area. So off camera after the last part, I went ahead and did the dailies and did some more of the rest of LFR when it came to Siege of Orgrimmar, and basically finished off getting this character to level 70. This is also supposed to be almost all of the mythic Sanctum of Domination set, along with the Warglaives you can get from that, which I think look really cool, this red and black look. It's not entirely done. There's like one piece missing. I think it's mainly the cloak. But this is mainly the set from that, along with the Warglaives I think match it really well. But as you can see, I was able to get this character to level 70, so now any of the bronze caches this character would get are basically all now going to... going to possibly be even more so than they normally would be, because now we've reached level 70. So let's head back to this where the statue would be and talk to Yulon about moving on. By the way, I also went around and collected the scrolls about the 7 Burdens of Shalhau, because I discovered you actually can watch it in-game. Once you get the scrolls, you then get this quest in the mail. You get a little thing in the mail from Lord Walker Cho, where he's like, "Oh, it would seem that you have discovered the full tale of Shao Hao, the last emperor of Pandaria. If you visit us at the Seat of Knowledge in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, we can add this to your personal collection." So we will do that later when we actually make our way there. But for now,
I'm not afraid of you.
I am ready to leave you, Lon.
Have fun!
We meet again, stranger from beyond the mists.
Sorry about your statue.
This battle has extracted a heavy toll. My own rebirth will have to wait for several years. Learn from this, stranger. I do not know why the mists have opened, but I know that it is for a reason.
I like how she's labeled as my pet.
It is clear that you are not here to bring your war to these lands. There is a darkness hidden here in Pandaria. This you have seen for yourself. But I am certain that the mists parted for a reason. You are that reason. Find your purpose here. You can learn a great deal about this land from the Valley of the Four Winds. There is another visitor from beyond the mists here. Chen Stormstout he is called. He is Pandaran, but from a different homeland. Walk this land with Chen at your side. Make friends among the people here. You will find answers in time.
Woohoo! Thanks, Yulon. We'll see you later. It's Chen and Lily!
Come on, Uncle Chen. What are we waiting for?
Relax, Lily. We have all the time in the world to explore Pandaria. Take some time to enjoy the trip.
I would enjoy the trip more if we were actually going somewhere.
Be wise, traveler. Prove to these inhabitants that there is more to your people than war and destruction. Chen! Hi, Lily. So, some of you may know that I spent a lot of time. I spent, like, during basically its entire lifetime, since it was in beta.
Come on, Uncle Chen.
Until basically Blizzard offed it. Hold on.
Relax, Lily.
Oh gosh, what's the hotkey?
All the time in the world to explore Pandaria.
Whoops.
Take some time.
There we go. From the time it was in beta up until the time that basically Blizzard put it in maintenance mode, I spent so much time, so many hours playing Heroes of the Storm. Now, I will admit I played Lily a lot more than I played Chen, mainly because I just didn't quite get Chen's playstyle, and he never really was like a go-to tank. He was more of a off-tank kind of bruiser, but sometimes comps didn't really work that way, and really the game just kind of like, the way the game changed over time, Chen became less and less of a viable character to play because there was so much crowd control that prevented him from being able to do what he needed to, which was, of course, having the mechanic where he had to drink some brew in order to be able to actually use some of his abilities. But there were so many ways to counter him from being able to drink that they eventually had to make some changes later on in the game to Chen where he could actually continue doing stuff or be able to get like an unstoppable when he drank, just because he had to. Lily, for the longest time, though, was looked upon basically as, like, the beginner healer. If you want to learn how to play a healer in HOTS, she was basically the go-to choice. If you were introducing a friend and they wanted to learn how to play a healer, you would start them off with Lily, just because of the way that she worked as a healer compared to some of the other ones that were a little bit more complicated and advanced when it came to their skill kit compared to hers, which was pretty simple and easy to do. Yeah, you just press Q and any nearby ally would get a healing potion on them. Yeah, so needless to say though, I also honestly fought to kind of like push that Lily could be able to make it as a solo healer, because she was looked upon like, well, she can heal, but she's not like someone who can solo heal. Not really. Just because of the way that her kit worked. But I was like, someone's like, look, I can tell you that I've had games where I have had lots of great healing with Lily. The thing is, though, that she was perceived by a lot of people as someone who, that's not what she was really good at or really meant for. You didn't pick Lily for her healing. You picked her because of her ability to add things like blinds to the enemy, with her Gust of Wind ability. Or her slows if you pick the Serpent ult rather than her big healing ult. But I always thought that she could pull it off. You just had to know what you're doing and just be diligent at it, But anyways. So let's just say I'm rather fond of these two characters, and I guess there's a reason why these two end up being in the game Heroes of the Storm. And of course, as a reminder, Chen is the one that we saw that not just in the Pandaria cinematic, but remember, Chen made his first ever appearance in Warcraft 3 when we had the Rexar missions back in the day. You could actually meet Chen Stormstout and be like, hey, it's Chen, And I would use that as an example to show that, look, the Pandarians have been around since Warcraft 3. It's not like they made them up out of nowhere just for this expansion like some people accuse Blizzard of doing. But they were also wanting to push forward the whole thing about, well, they're also trying to appeal to, people kept pushing forward various different reasons why they came up with Miss Pandaria that had nothing to do with the actual story. Just an out of character reason, out of lore reasons why they would go with this direction, as opposed to no, it's actually a direction that based on the story, it actually does flow well and make sense. Plus, not only, it's also a way that they added much more actual lore and fleshed out the setting a whole lot more, as I was saying earlier. But it's just awesome seeing a character we know in Chen being here. So I hope you guys are fine with seeing them, because we're going to be spending time with them quite a bit. At least in this zone. But actually not just in this zone. Ah, hello. I saw that you got dropped off here by Yulon the Jade Serpent. It's nice to meet you. My niece and I are new to Pandaria. Probably like yourself, we're actually visitors from the Wandering Isle, which if you made a Pandaran, you would know is the Pandaran starting zone. And to be honest, we have no idea where we are going. That farm up ahead looks as fine as a place as any to take off our shoes and enjoy a brew. What do you say, Lily? Blood Elf, would you like to share the road with us?
I travel well.
Finally!
I am called Chen. And this is my niece, Lily. May we stay here at your farmhouse for a while? We do not have much in the way of money, but I will gladly share some of my famous ale with you.
Greetings, Chen. Lily, you may stay, but I do not need any of your ale.
Thank you. We will not trouble you for long. Interesting. He does not like beer? A very strange land indeed.
Really, Uncle? We're stopping already? We only moved 10 feet.
It's not that he doesn't like beer, Chen. It's that he is like, oh, I don't need more of it, thank you very much. Because as we're going to find out in this zone, they're just fine when it comes to food and other resources. If you don't believe me, just look at those. Do you notice how big they are? Now, again, if you went into the Pandaren starting zone and saw them in the Wandering Isle, you would know that they are large, but this is where we learn why. And we get to see that it's not just the Wandering Isle that they were gigantic, but here as well in Pandaria, especially in this zone, the Valley of the Four Winds. They're very well off when it comes to supplies like, crops, because the soil and the water here are extremely plentiful, and there's a reason for that. A troublemaker! Oh, embracing the passions. Hello. Hey! Muno the farmhand. A lot of little, pesterlings around the area, huh? I like how this is also an inn here. Welcome to Thunderfoot Inn, Pang's Stead. Hello.
My goods are crafted with great care.
So this is a Pandaren bed. I don't know about you, but those look extremely comfy and relaxing to lay in. I would love to lay in that and just sleep a night here. Those beds look so comfy to lay in. But seriously, the Valley of the Four Winds, this is an example of a zone as to why it's extremely gorgeous and beautiful, and why, if I could ever choose a place in Warcraft to retire to, this is probably it. In fact, we will see this when we head to Half Hill, which is our farm. By the way, here they are. I mentioned that we would run to these characters again, and here they are. Zhao and Lin. So, we will be continuing our adventures with Chen and Lily in the Valley of the Four Winds when we return. Stay tuned.